on the radio. And who's next? Fairfax, Virginia. Hi, Jeff. You're up.
Hey, Ross. I'm going to agree with you that Barack Obama's been a coward on race. He hasn't said anything meaningful about race in forever. Even his race speech didn't say anything about how black people are treated in this country. What I'm going to disagree with you on is your characterization of the right as not being racist or Tea Parties as not being racist. And I don't make that allegation lightly. You're the leader of the Tea Party movement. I've been to a number of rallies. I'm a Democratic activist myself. And I listen to your show a lot. I've heard Barack the Magic Negro, as if that's somehow funny or okay. I've heard you do skits about spades and hoes. I've heard you go after Donovan McNabb, your interstitials about Ron Artest, where you say nothing about the rapist Roethlisberger or Mark Shamar, the white rapist football players. If you didn't talk so much about Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, they'd be footnotes in history by now. Nobody would know who they are.
No, wait a minute. This has gotten more and more unbelievable as your litany has gone on and on. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton will be footnotes in history were it not for me. I'm not the leader of the team.
On television in years.
Oh, they're on television all the time. They are favored media figures. These guys have the stamp of approval of the drive-by media, and I am not the leader of the Tea Party. I've never been to a Tea Party rally. I've never organized one. I don't know when the next one is.
Well, there is a contest between you and Glenn Beck. I mean, I've been to a number of them, and they love you both. I don't know who they love more. Yeah, and I take that as an insult if I were you, because I think you're much better than Glenn Beck is. But the truth is, you are a leader, whether you like it or not. Your actions have made you a leader. What you do every day, you're one of the most talented personalities in America.
Well, that's true.
You agree with that? But you've made yourself a leader, not only amongst Tea Partiers, but amongst the Republican Party. How many Republican politicians have called into your show to apologize to you when you've taken offense at some of the things they've said?
Maybe two.
Maybe two? I know Phil Gingrey, Darrell Issa, off the top of my head. What two were you thinking of?
Those two. There haven't been any others.
Well,
you are attacking me. You are attacking me for doing what Eric Holder said we don't have the guts. I have the courage to talk about race. I have the courage to make fun of liberals who happen to be black, who are just as funny, just as guilty of hypocrisy as anybody else is, but somehow because they're black, they seem to be off limits or untouchable.
I hate to break this to you, Russ, but hate is cowardice. That's not courage.
Well, there's no hate here. Give me you guys define hate as anything you disagree with.
Why is it okay to say to characterize Michelle Obama or insinuate that she's a hoe? Why is that okay in America today?
When did I insinuate? When did I say she's a hoe?
When Hillary Clinton said something about Barack Obama has not done the spade work, you went through a 5-minute monologue about Barack Obama being great with the spade, and when he's done with that, he turns to his hoe.
That was a playoff of what had happened on Imus.
And that's funny,
Nappy-headed Well, no, we're trying to call attention. It's called satire. It's called parody. And by the way, I have parodied Bill Clinton, and I have parodied Mrs. Clinton, and I have parodied John Kerry, and I have parodied Joe Bite Me, and a number of other people. If they're liberals, they're targets. It doesn't matter if they're from Mars to me. It's just I have the courage not to leave the African Americans out of it.
And the only way you can make them a target is to use old racial epithets? You find a more creative way of doing your satire, Russ? That's what I mean. That's hate.
There is no hate here. They make themselves the targets by saying and doing what they do.
How did Michelle make herself a hoe? How did Michelle Obama make herself a hoe?
I don't
How
even
did she make herself a target?
Do you really think I was calling Michelle Obama a whore? Do you really think that's what I was doing?
No, I think you were calling her a hoe. The hoe is the word you used.
Then wait a minute.
And why would you
in your world, if hoe doesn't equal whore, then why are you offended?
Because hoe equals the African American community's representation of the word whore.
Oh, whore is defined of course, and hoe means whore. Do you really think I think Michelle Obama is a whore? I think she's a hypocrite.
Really
I think she ought to stay out of what I eat. It's none of her business what I eat.
Used it.
What?
I think you thought you could get away with it. I think you can get away with whatever you want on the radio. You can use whatever. Like you said, this is in the aftermath of the IMUS thing. IMUS had just been suspended. You were looking to rub Black America's nose in the fact that you can say whatever racist damn thing you want and get away with it.
I'm not trying to get away with anything. You got to, for as smart as you sound, you have a total misunderstanding of what this program's all about. I just treat black politicians the same as I treat liberal white politicians. That's the difference, and nobody else does. Everybody's cowed. Everybody's afraid to.
When am I going to hear you say something about Ben Roethlisberger or Mark Shamar, the white rapist athletes?
I have made jokes about Roethlisberger. What's the second name you mentioned?
Mark Shamar, the old tight end from the Packers, Jets, I think.
We have
statutory rape.
We have made jokes and comments about all of these guys.
I try to listen every day, but I guess I just haven't heard that, so I can leave that alone. But you've spent a lot of time on the Black Panther scandal. You spent no time on the racist purging of voters with African American names in Florida in the year 2000. That had a lot if impact on voting.
Don't happen to believe that happened. I don't believe it. If there's any purging that went on in Florida, it was of absentee military voters that the Democrat. I am equal time. You have to look at something. Everybody says that I need to be balanced. Wrong. I am the equal time, and I'm a small little chunk of equal time. Look at all the stuff that I've been labeled. You just did it yourself. I'm filled with hate. I'm a racist. I'm this or that. And you can get away with saying it because I'm a powerful white guy. And I'm not supposed to be subject to being embarrassed by it or offended by it because that's part of the territory. I'm supposed to have to be able to take it. But somehow, Michelle Obama is immune. Or Al Sharpton is immune. Or the Reverend Jackson's immune. Or Ron Artest is immune. I didn't start a fight with fans in the stands in Indiana like Ron Artest did. I didn't set up a rap music company with a bunch of hoes like he did. But he did it. So we had a little fun with it.
So your equal time is to balance out non-racism with a healthy dose of racism.
No, my equal time is to satire and parody everything in the news, no matter who is making it. Your problem is that you think being black is a disadvantaged, uncared for, indefensible, pathetic minority that can't defend or take care of themselves, and so they're off limits. And anytime somebody dares... how come you haven't mentioned Major Owens? We've had more fun with that guy than anybody I can remember. The sharks are still swimming the slave route.
I'm sorry, I don't know who Major Owens is, but I do know that your first inclination, the housing crisis, your first inclination is to attack Acorn and the Community Reinvestment Act as if AIG and all the Wall Street bankers had nothing to do with
because they happen to be the biggest problem. Acorn and the Community Redevelopment Act happen to be the reason that the subprime mortgage crisis happened. I am not going to be silenced. I am not going to let the facts of a story go ignored or be ignored because the activists behind the mess happen to be leftists. Be they Martian leftists or black leftists or take your pick, female leftists or what have you. I think you need to be ashamed of yourself. You are a smart guy, and you know that what you're saying about me isn't true. You're just trying to score some points, get yourself all heralded on the blogosphere billboards out there. You're skewed innuendo, and your lies and distortions about me, you really need to examine yourself and be ashamed of who you are. That's even better. It's perfect. Greetings. Welcome back. Rush Limbaugh. Let me tell you something, folks. I am sitting here. I do a slow burn over this patronization, this patronizing of black people in this country as if they are helpless. And they're wandering aimlessly through life, and they can't handle anything whatsoever. It's an insult to have a call like that come in and portray, and this is what I've always thought about leftists and blacks, they actually look down on black people. They look at black people and see a bunch of incompetence. They see people who are defenseless, helpless, can't help themselves. They just denigrate them in their own minds, and it's offensive to me. And I find it utterly irritating, this patronizing attitude they have toward that segment of our population, because it's leading that in fact, the American left looks at the black population as just, what's the best way to describe this? It's the reason they keep them on their own liberal plantation. They look at them as just totally incapable of doing anything. If anybody discriminates against them, it's the American left. If it's anybody that looks down at the black population of this country, it's the American left. And that guy admitted he's a Democrat activist, so he's paid to utter those words. But you know what really bugs these guys is that I spend time exposing the liberal agenda, and that they have not been able to intimidate me with this charge of racism into shutting up about it. That's what bugs them. And I'm not. I mean, as I've told you, I don't care what people look like. If they are liberals, they're going to be lampooned on this program. They're going to be laughed at. They're going to be criticized. They're going to be called out. They're going to be properly explained. I don't care if they've got 3 heads. I don't care if they don't have half a brain. It doesn't matter to me who or what they are. If they are liberals, they are in my sorry CNN crosshairs.